I want to see who can make a better drone film, me or AI. I've been flying drones for years now, and I'm pretty confident that I know what goes into making a good drone film. But then again, AI knows every single film that's ever been made, so maybe it knows better. So I'm on the beautiful island paradise of Bali, and I'm going to spend one day with 4 different drones. I'm going to head to 4 different locations to try and make the best film that I can. And at the same time, Chat GPT is going to tell me what it wants me to do for its drone film, and I'm also going to let it decide where we actually go, and then we're going to see which one is the best. So to find out what Chat GPT actually wants me to do, we need to head inside. Okay, so I'm back inside now, and I've actually put a couple of prompts into Chat GPT, and I've actually got somewhere pretty good. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly what it's told me just yet. I'm going to leave that as a bit of a surprise, and I'm going to reveal that throughout the video. But the basic gist of it is, I told it was a professional drone videographer with loads of experience here in Bali, and I told it to give me locations to go to, shot list, and all the editing breakdown, sound design, and song to use. Now, I did run into a couple of issues where it was giving me places that I couldn't go to fly, but every time it did that, I told it sort of, I can't fly there, give me something else, and it gave me another suggestion. And it was also coming up with songs that just didn't exist. Even though I told it to look on the Artlist.io platform for music, it was still pulling out songs that didn't exist. So we managed to correct that as well. And yeah, so the basic thing is, I'm going to see you again in the morning because we're going to start at sunrise. And yeah, it's going to be another early morning for me doing a drone shoot at the rice terraces. So there's a little sneak peek, and I'll see you in the morning. Okay, here we go. It's location number 1. It's another extremely early morning, as you can hear by the rooster. And yeah, so ChatGPT told me that I needed to come to the Tegalalang rice terraces for sunrise, and it's given me 3 shots here, I think. So the first one it's told me is a wide one, slowly ascending over the rice terraces with the sun rising in the background whilst moving upwards and slightly forwards. And the second one is a pan shot, nice smooth horizontal pan across the terraces. And then we have a dynamic FPV fly through, which is FPV dive into the terraces and then smoothly gliding through them. So unfortunately, they have actually just harvested all the grass here, so it's more brown than it is green. In this instance, if it wasn't ChatGPT telling me to come here, I would probably go to one of the other rice terraces where they hadn't already harvested the rice, but here we are. That's the 2 shots now for ChatGPT, and I'm going to use my own creativity to just pick my own shots. Okay, time now to get the FPV shots. Now it wanted me to do a nice dive in and then a dynamic fly through. Now weirdly enough, this is only giving me 6 seconds for this, where we had like a slow pan. There was 8 seconds or 10 seconds, so I've got less time to do more stuff. So see how we go, and then after that I'll just capture some footage that I think is going to be good for mine. So send it up. All right, that's all my, is that all my food footage? Yeah. All right, that's all my, I'm losing my mind. Okay, that's all my FPV footage for this location. I'm gonna pack up and move on to location number 2. 4, 2. All right, this is location number 2, and it's the Kampuhan Ridge Walk. Now, ChatGPT has only asked me for 2 shots here, 1 stabilized, 1 FPV. Now the stabilized one is a tracking shot, so it wants me to track somebody from fairly close behind and just slowly move forwards. And then the FPV shot wants a nice fast-paced fly along the ridge, revealing the valley on either side. So only 2 shots to get here for that. I'm going to use the avatar at this location again, mainly just because of being able to land easy. So I think I'll still be able to get enough speed up to get the ChatGPT's fast fly through with revealing the ridge on either side, and then I'll get my own shot. Okay, that's all my shots here, and it's time to move on to location number 3, which is quite a bit further away, and I hope it doesn't rain before I get there, so let's get moving. Okay, I've just arrived at location number 3. Honestly, my legs are shaking. I must have come down like 500 steps. So let me just quickly see what ChatGPT wanted at this location. Well, first of all, this is Nung Nung waterfall, and it's freaking huge. So okay, what is honestly my legs. So stabilized shot, we need a wide shot capturing the waterfall from a distance with slow moving forwards, aka a dolly in 7 seconds. And then he wants a close-up shot zooming in on the waterfall. And the FPV drone wants a dynamic swoop diving down from above the waterfall, pulling up close to the water. So we'll see what we can do. To be honest, I think I actually agree with Chat GPT on this one. I'll probably do a slightly different stabilized shot too, and I might try an FPV under the bridge, up and round, but we'll just see what happens, because my legs are shaking so bad. Okay, let me get up in the air. Okay, not gonna lie, that was a little bit sketchy. There's a lot of like water mist in the air, and it should be okay with a little bit of mist, but yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get satellites on any of my FPV drones, but I do have one that I don't need GPS for, and it is waterproof, so we'll see what we can do with that one. Okay, that's the first time I've flown this guy in God knows how long, and I just had to send it straight to warfare. I'm literally just shaking. Yeah, all of a sudden when I wanted to fly, loads of people showed up, but we got the shot. I didn't want to send it right into there, but okay, that's going to be it from here. I'm not actually going to location 4 just yet. I've got to go to the dentist, weirdly enough. I know I'm not trying to skip school, and then I'm going to go to the last location because it wants me to go there for a sunset. So I've got a bit of time to kill now, so get home, up these friggin' 500 stairs again, go to the dentist, and I'll see you in a couple hours. So let's get moving. Okay, I'm at the last location. I've ridden about an hour south after I've been to the dentist, had 2 fillings up and bottom in the, anyway, it doesn't matter. So I've ridden about an hour south, and I'm now just standing outside of Tanalot Temple, which is on the rocks over there. I'm a little bit away from the temple. I'm on a sunset point nearby. So I'm gonna fly over to the temple when the sun gets a bit lower. I didn't think there was gonna be much of a sunset because there was so much cloud around the whole island, but when I've got to here where the sun is gonna set, there is like no clouds. So it's gonna be a beautiful sunset. I'm looking forward to this, so I'm going to sit down. There's some free food, well, food and drink included with my tickets. I'm going to get some food and drink, and then I'm just going to wait for the sun to set. Okay, so I've had some food now, and I think I'm going to go with the FPV drone in just a second. I'm going to send the Nazgul up this time because it's pretty windy out here, and nothing else is going to cope with the wind as good as that will. And then I'm going to wait for the sun to set a little bit more before we send up the Mini 4 Pro. Now, Chat GPT wants me to get with the Mini 4 Pro a wide shot capturing the temple with the sunset in the background, and then it wants me to do an orbit showcasing the temple and the ocean. And for FPV, it wants a nice low shot over the waves and then around the rocks, sort of showcasing the rocks and temple. So yeah, we'll do that, and I'll throw in a few extra for me, and we'll see what we can do. I just had to like fully rush to get the Mini 4 Pro because there's a layer of cloud that I couldn't see above the horizon, and the sun was starting to set behind that, and the Chat GPT needed a shot of the sun setting behind the temple. So luckily, I think I just about got it. So I've got both of them up, and we've got some pretty good shots all in all, I think. So I'm going to pack up and sit down for a bit. This music is so loud, and I'm going to head back. I'm going to have a good night's sleep, and then I'm going to start editing another day. So I'll see you when we get back into the editing studio. Alrighty, so I'm just partway through editing the AI sequence right now, and I wanted to take a minute just to go through what ChatGPT gave me when it came to an editing timeline. So it gave me a full breakdown of all the shots that I took, how long they should stay on the screen for, the order they should be in, and then transitions between each of the different locations. Then it also gave me some sound design elements to use for each of the different locations, and then a music track to use. Now, like I said before, I did have to ask it a few times to give me a different track because it was suggesting music that just didn't exist, but we got there in the end. And then I asked it whether I should use the start, the middle, or the end of the track because it was quite a long piece, and it said to use the middle, which is good because I thought the middle was the best bit too. And then it gave me a color grade to go for. It said use warm and vibrant tones to help enhance Bali's natural beauty. I can do that no problem. And then it gave me some final notes just to bear in mind whilst I'm editing the whole sequence. Now I'm already building a few sort of thoughts in my mind about this sequence, what I think it's doing well and not so well, but I'm going to leave those to the end of that, and we'll see if your thoughts match up with my thoughts. But when it comes to my edit, I'm just going to edit how I normally would. So I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to finish both of these sequences. Okay, that's both sequences now finished and edited, ready to go. Now I'm going to play you the AI sequence first, and then I'm going to play you my sequence. Then I'm going to go over my thoughts on both of them, how they could be better, how they could be worse, and how you can utilize AI in your own drone videos. So let's see what we ended up with. Alright, so we've seen both of the clips now, so I'm going to give you my thoughts first of all on the AI sequence. Now the first thing that I noticed with the AI sequence is that it was leaving the stabilized clips on the screen for a very long time, and it was cutting the FPV clips a bit short. Now one of these clips that I noticed it the most in was at the ridge walk, where it wanted me to do a fast fly along and then fly up and reveal the valleys on both sides, but it only gave me 5 seconds to do it, which is just not enough time to play out the full sequence. And to make things a bit worse, I actually allocated 90 seconds to be used for the film, and the AI only used 75 seconds. So it could have run those FPV clips a little bit longer, but for some reason it just didn't want to. Now one of the clips I really wouldn't have picked that AI did was the pan shot at the rice terrace. That one was just a bit slow and a bit boring in my opinion, but that's the clip it wanted, so that's the clip it got. Let's talk about the sound aspect of things now. So I actually thought that AI did a pretty decent job of picking a music track when it eventually found one that existed. But I thought the music wasn't terrible. It wasn't anything special, but it was okay, to be honest. And when it comes to sound design, I think it picked some really nice sound design elements to be used with those clips. But where it kind of falls behind what I was doing is that when you capture the clips, there are always going to be some things that appear in the clips that you sort of weren't prepared for, or you weren't expecting them to be there. Some things like birds flying across the screen, or at the waterfall there was a child playing, so I put in the subtle sound of like a child laughing. Little things like this, AI doesn't know it's going to be in the scene, so it can't account for it and give you sound design elements to be using. So that's where I think AI lacks behind when it comes to sound design. I think my sequence was just a bit more full-bodied and had a lot more sound elements going on overall. And on the topic of music, mine was a little bit more of an intense track. It might have been a little bit too much, but I do think it was slightly better than the AI's choice. And maybe if I spent a bit more time choosing a track, I could have narrowed it down to an even better one, but finding a music track takes so long, and it already took me so long to whittle down to that particular track. Color grading wise, I thought AI came up with a really nice color grading idea for this, and I actually went with something very similar, just with a few slight changes over the AI sound design. And one thing I also did extra is at the waterfall shot, I added a slow-mo section there just to give that bit of footage a little bit more impact and let you enjoy what was going on a little bit more. So overall, I don't think that AI is going to replace me just yet when it comes to directing a cinematic drone film, but it does give you a lot of good ideas. So if you're completely stuck and you have some footage and you're not sure what sound design elements to use with it, you can always ask Chat GPT, and it's probably going to give you some pretty decent recommendations. Along with also, if you're not sure what kind of shots you should capture, just ask Chat GPT for a list of shots and it's probably going to give you some really good suggestions. So this was a really interesting experiment, and I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on it. And if you did, I know you're going to enjoy watching this video right here, where I did a nice cinematic short film about flying the Avata 2 to the top of Mount Batur. And if you want to learn how to make your Mini 4 Pro really nice and cinematic, go and check out this video right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.